because I'm very passionate about this point, because all the greatest things I've ever heard from directors, like instruction or constructive criticism, all the most brilliant things that directors say, they often start with, now I'm not using the right terms here, but, or they say, now bear with me because I don't really speak your language, and then if they just go for it, like, it's usually like quite profound on a musical level as well. I mean, like, the need for musical terms or the need for having done it before is just not what it's about. It's just like, when directors just don't really have a filter, they just say, even if it's just like the weirdest psychology, like, make it so that she knows that he thinks that, you know what I mean? Like, like this scene, and they're like, I don't know how you do that musically, but that's what I want, and, all that stuff. That's why, I mean, honestly, like, that's my favorite part of the job is, like, if we were just composers that wanted to tell our own stories, we'd be, we'd be in the concert hall. Mm-hmm. And the idea of telling the story of the director is what is so interesting to me. So.
I mean, the idea is communication, right? It's not terminology. It's about getting your idea into my head. So I don't care how you do it. Part of my job is to translate your film ideas into a musical interpretation of that. So get your idea across. Doesn't matter. Don't try to use words necessarily that you don't have a full grasp on. The problem starts happening when you get directors that think they know what they're talking about, but they kind of really don't. So I have some people that give me notes like, gee, this is great, but it needs to be more purple, as if that is supposed to make sense. But, I get what they're saying. Whereas I have other people that say things like, well, this has to be a clarinet, but when you get to the session, they freak out because they meant oboe. They didn't know it was a clarinet. That's where the problems come in. Just talk to us. Just talk to your composer. Our job is to figure out what it means musically, right? You talk film. We'll translate it to music. If you have music knowledge to bring to the table, so much the better, but it's not necessary at all. I mean, you agree?
Yeah, we don't speak film, and I don't understand many of the things that are happening in the film from an editor's point of view, from an actor, from a lighting point of view, but I speak emotion. So if the director can say to me, I need this emotion, I need to feel it like this, I want it harder or softer, or I want them to know that she's falling in love, but she doesn't know it yet. I can really respond to that kind of thing. And I do really like musical references. I like it when a director brings a musical reference and says, I was listening to this during this part of the film, or this really inspired me, because I get the vibe from that, and it really tells me where to go. Sometimes way more than words. Like if someone says, classical, to me, classical means one thing. To the director, it might mean an entirely different thing. And it's a big word that encompasses a lot. So I really do appreciate musical references.